In this video, we are going to look at the solutions to the WASSCE Elective Mathematics 2023 paper 2. We are solving questions 1 through 15. So we are going to solve all the questions 1 through 15 in this particular video. So let's begin with question number 1. So the question given to us is this: 2x squared plus xy minus 3y squared is equal to 9. And we are finding the y, the x at the point 1 and 6. So this is an implicit differentiation. And you recall that we are differentiating with respect to x. So when we differentiate x, we don't have any problem. But when we differentiate y, we need to indicate that we are not intentionally differentiating y, but we are differentiating y with respect to x. So we indicate the y, the x there to show that we are actually differentiating y with respect to x. So let's begin with the 2x squared. When you differentiate 2x squared, since there's no y there, we get 4x. But when we differentiate y, we have to indicate that it is not intentional. We are actually doing it with respect to x, and it happened that we are differentiating y in it. So this is a product. So what we do is that we hold one variable. So let's hold the x first. So x, then we differentiate the other, differentiate the y, the x. We differentiate y, it will give us 1. Then multiply it by the y, the x, because we have to indicate that we are not intentionally differentiating y. We are actually differentiating with respect to x. Then we come to the term of y. We hold the y and differentiate the x. That one is allowed. So times 1. Then we come to the third term. So minus, if we differentiate 3y squared, we get 6y. But we have to again show that we are actually differentiating with respect to x. Then when we differentiate the 9 is 0. So all that you're going to do now is to group the dy, the x on one side. So we have x, dy, the x, then minus 6y, dy, the x is equal to, now we send the y there, send the x, 4x there. So we have negative 4x minus y all over. Okay, so we have not factored this one in, so let's factor before we divide. So it's equal to negative 4x minus y. So let's factor the y, the x from here. So you're going to get the y, the x outside. Then we will have x, then minus 6y is equal to negative 4x minus y. So dividing through by x minus 6y, we will get x minus 6y here. So now we are finding the value of the y, the x at this point. So the y, the x at x equal 1 and y equal 6. We just substitute the values there to be equal to negative 4 times 1 minus 6 all over, and 1 minus 6 times 6. So that will give us negative 4 minus 6, negative 10 all over 1 minus 36, which is negative 35. So 5 will go here, negative 5 will go here 2 times, negative 5 will go into this 7 times. So divide the x at 1 and 6 will be 2 over 7. We have this question which says the first term and sum to infinity of an exponential sequence GP are 54 and 162 respectively. Find the sum of the fifth and sixth terms. So we know that the sum to infinity of an exponential sequence is given by the first term over 1 minus the common ratio r. So the first, the sum to infinity is 162, you put it here. And then the first one is 54, you put it here. Minus r, over 1 minus r. So if you swap this and this, you get 1 minus r is equal to 54 over 162. And 1 minus r will be equal to 1 over 3. So r will be equal to, negative r will be equal to 1 over 3 minus 1. So r will be equal to, negative r will be equal to negative 2 over 3. Therefore, r will be equal to 2 over 3. So the sum of the sum of fifth and sixth term will be equal to AR exponent 4 plus AR exponent 6 exponent 5. So that will give you A, which is 54 times 2 over 3 exponent 4 plus 54 times 2 over 3 exponent 5. So that will give us 160 over 160 over 9, which is equal to 17.777 recurring. 17.7 recurring. So we have square root of q minus 3 plus square root of q plus 2 is equal to 5. So I can send one of the sets. So square root of q minus 3 equal 5 minus square root of q plus 3 plus 2 for easy evaluation. So I can square both sides. Sorry, I can square both sides now. So squaring both sides, we're going to get square root of q. So this will get rid of this. We have q minus 3 here. Then on the other side, we have 5 minus square root of q plus 2. Then 5 minus square root of q plus 2. So the trouble is now on the right hand side. So this times this will be 25. This times this will be minus 5 square root of q plus 2. Then another minus 5. This and this minus 5 square root of q plus 2. Then we have this and this will give you plus q plus 2. So q minus 3 minus 25. Then we have minus 2. And the q will go away. So we're going to get q minus q is equal to, so we have minus 10q, minus 10 square root of q plus 2 on the right hand side. So minus 5 minus 25 minus 28, then that will give you negative 30 on the left hand side is equal to negative 10 root square root of q plus 2. So dividing through by negative 10, we are going to get 3 is equal to square root of q plus 2. So squaring both sides, we are going to get, this will get rid of this, 9 is equal to q plus 2. So 9 minus 2 will be equal to q. Therefore q will be equal to 7. So we have 9 sine 2 theta minus 28 cos 2 theta is equal to 0. So I'm going to equate this 9 sine 2 theta to 28 cos 2 theta. So it means that I've sent this one to the right hand side, making it to become positive. I'm going to divide through by cos 2 theta, cos 2 theta, cos 2 theta, so that this will get rid of this. Now recall that 9 sine 2 theta over note that cos sine theta over cos theta is equal to tan theta. So sine 2 theta over cos 2 theta will be, you get it, will be tan 2 theta. So 9 tan 2 theta will be equal to 28. So you can divide through by 9. So tan 2 theta is equal to 28 over 9. So we are going to take the tan inverse of both sides. So 2 theta will be equal to tan inverse of 28 over 9. So 2 theta will be equal to 72.18. So dividing through by 2, we are going to get theta to be equal to 36.09. So since we're in the first quadrant, theta is positive. So this is approximately 36 degrees. I will leave it to 2 decimal places since they need as anything. Now let's look at the B part. Find the binomial expansion of, we have 3r minus 2s exponent 4. So recall that the binomial coefficient, we can use calculator to find it. 4 combination 0, then you're going to get 3r, and then minus 2s. Then we go to the next one, 4 combination 1, then you're going to get 3r, and then negative 2s. Then the next one is 4 combination 2, 3r, then we have negative 2s. Then the continuation, 4 combination 3, 3r, then negative 2s. Then we have 4 combination 4, then you're going to get 3r, then negative 2s. So the first term will increase from 4 to, will decrease from 4 to 0. So we have 4 here, and the second one also increase from 0 to 1. So 4, 3, then 2, then we have 1, then we have 0. Then the second one will increase from 0 to 4. So 0, 1, 2, then we have 3 here, then we have 4. So 4 combination 0 is 1. So that will give us 1 times 3r exponent 4. This one also give us 1. So we get 81r exponent 4 plus 4 combination 4 is 1. So this will give us 16s exponent 4. So when we simplify everything, we have 8r exponent 4. Then 4 times 27, and 4 times 27 times negative 2 will be negative 216 r cube s. Then 6 times 9 times 4, 9 times 4 will be 6 times 9 times 4, another 216 is there, so plus 216 again, r exponent 2, s exponent 2. Then we have 4 times 3 is 12, so 12 times negative 8 will give us 96. Then we have s cube, Oh, what is the R? Okay, R S cube. Then we have the last one plus 16 s exponent 4. So that is what we have for the B part. This is the final expansion. In a town, 15% of the people speak Twi. If 4 people are selected at random from the town, find the probability that more than half speak Twi. So this is a binomial probability, which is given by probability of x equal r is given by n combination r and p exponent r. Then we have q exponent n minus r, where the n from the question is 4. N is equal to 4, and we're given that the probability of someone speaking Twi is 15%. So small p is equal to 15%, which is the same as 0.15. And q will be equal to 1 minus p, that is 1 minus 0.15, which is equal to 0.85. So probability of more than half speak Twi when 4 people are choosing. So we are going to get probability of x is greater than 2. So that will be equal to probability of x is equal to 3, or probability of x is equal to 4. So we fix in the values. This will give us probability of x equal 3. So now the r is equal to 3. So we put 4 combination 3. Then we have p, which is 0.15 exponent 3. Then we're going to get q, which is 0.85 exponent n minus 1. 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. Then we come to this part. So we add it to x equal 4. So we have n, which is 4 combination 4. Then we are going to get p, which is 0.15 exponent 4. Then we are going to get 0.85 exponent 0. So let's simplify this. We simplify this, we are going to obtain probability of x greater than 2 to be equal to 4 times 0.003375 times 0.85. Then we add it to 1 times 0.00050625, and we multiply it by 1. So when we simplify this, we are getting 0.01198, and to 2 decimal places we are going to get 0.01. So that is the probability that we got someone who speak more. We got more than half speaking Twi. Let's look at the B parts. We get at most 2 speaking Twi. So at most 2 speaking Twi means P of x is less than or equal to 2. And this is the complement of x is greater than 2. So this will be equal to 1 minus probability of x is greater than 2, which we found earlier here to be equal to 0.01. So this will be equal to 1 minus 0.01. And when we evaluate this, we get 0.99. Let's continue with question number 6. The table shows the distribution of heights in centimeters of students in a class. Draw a histogram for the distribution. So we can see the table is a frequency distribution table with class interval. So this is a group data with class interval. Group data with class interval. Now, to draw a histogram for the distribution, we can formulate this table like this. Now, recall that you can also use the class midpoint instead of the class boundary to draw a histogram. So to get a class boundary, you get the difference between two classes, two consecutive classes. So you can see that this and this is having a difference of 1 divided by 2, so that we break that gap. So we add 0.5 to this, and we subtract 0.5 from this and add 0.5 to this, so that they'll have a common boundary. So that is what we do for all of them. And this one too, we do the same thing. This one do the same thing. So that will give us the lower class boundary and the upper class boundary. The frequency is already here, so we are now going to draw the histogram. So we have a graph sheet. Now you can use an appropriate scale, since we're not giving any scale. So I have chosen 2 centimeters to 2 units on the frequency axis, and 2 centimeters to 4 units, 2 centimeters to 5 units on the height axis. So we can now draw our histogram. So the first one will take a height of 5. So that is what we have here. The next one will take a height of 21. So 21 is here. And the next one will take a height of 23. So 23 is here. And the next one will take a height of 7. And the last one, height of 4. So that is our histogram. And the B part of the question says that we should use the histogram in 6A to estimate the mode of the distribution. So we look at the highest bar over here, which is this one. We will connect them like this. So we connect the peak here to the peak here. Then we connect the peak here to the peak here. We can now trace downwards, and we can see that we have 2 boxes from 134.5. So the modal mark or the mode will be equal to, since we have 5 interval here from 134.5 to 139.5, it means each box is 0.5, because 0.5 plus times 10 will give us 5. So the mode will be equal to 134.5 plus 2 boxes times 0.5, and that will give us 135.5 centimeters. That is the modal height. Okay, so we move on to the next question. We have 3 forces: F1 2m plus n, F2 negative 3m plus 4n, and F3 equal 4m minus 6n act on a body with mass 12 kg. Find the magnitude of the acceleration of the body. So recall that this thing here is just the basis or the base vectors, like as we have in F equal 2a plus b plus b, or let's say F equal 2i plus j. So you are going to make use of This is the ij form, so we are going to make use of the column form if you like, or you can continue like this. So we know that um, the resultant must be found. So our resultant vector will be equal to f1 plus f2 plus f3. So that will give us 2m plus n plus negative 3m plus 4n. Then we add it to 4m minus 6n. So grouping the m's, we have 2m minus m. That will give us m, negative m. Then we add it to 4m. That will give us 3m. Then we add the n's to, we get 5n minus 6n will give us minus n. So that will give us the resultant vector. So the magnitude of the resultant vector will be equal to square root of 3 squared plus negative 1 squared. Square root of 3 squared plus negative 1 squared. So that will give us square root of 10. So we know that the force is given by MA, mass times acceleration, which is given by, the mass is given by 12 kg, and the magnitude of the force is root 10. So 12A is equal to root 10. So you solve for A to get A to be equal to root 10 over 12. So the acceleration is equal to 0.2635 meters per second squared. The next question is the acceleration of a lorry at any time t seconds from rest is given by a equal 3 over 2 minus 1 over 10 t meters per second squared. Find its velocity after 10 seconds. So from the definition, or from the question, we have the acceleration to be equal to 3 over 2 minus 1 over 10 t meters per second squared. We are asked to find the velocity after 10 seconds, so we have to integrate the acceleration to get velocity. So v will be equal to the integral of 3 over 2 minus 1 over 10 t dt, and that will be equal to 3 over 2t minus, recall that when we are integrating, we add to the exponent. So when we integrate x exponent n dx, we are going to get x exponent n plus 1 all over n plus 1 plus c. So recall that. So the coefficient of the t here is 1. This one, the coefficient of the t is 0. So we add 1 to the 0 to get t exponent 1. That's why we get a t here. Then 1 over 10 t exponent 1 plus 1, which is 2 over 2. Then we have times, already we have 1 over 10. So times 1 over 10 plus the constant of integration. So this will simplify to 3 over 2t minus t squared over 20 plus c. We apply the fact that it is from rest. So v at time t equals 0 will be equal to 0 meters per second. So when we fix it inside, we are going to get v of 0, that is 0, will be equal to 3 over 2 times 0 minus 0 squared over 20 plus c. So that will give us 0 is equal to c. So we fix it back into the velocity to get the velocity is equal to 3 over 2t minus t squared over 20 meters per second. So that is the velocity function in terms of t. Now we have to substitute t equal 10. So after 10 seconds, when t equal 10, So after 10 seconds, the velocity should be equal to 3 over 2 times 10. Then we have minus 1 over 20 times 10 squared. So this will give us 15 minus 5. And that will give us 10 meters per second. Then the B part says that distance at time t seconds. So the B part, we pick V equal 3 over 2t minus 1 over 20 t squared. Then we integrate it again to get the distance. So distance will be equal to the integral of 3 over 2t minus 1 over 20 t squared dt. So s will be equal to, when we integrate this, we are going to get 3 over 4 t squared minus, when we integrate this, we will get t cube, so divided by 3, that will give us t cube over 60 plus c. So applying the initial condition, s of 0 equal 0, that will land us at displacement to be equal to, we'll get c equals 0, then that will give us the distance to be 3 over 4 t squared minus t cube over 60 in terms of t. Okay. Question number 9, pure mathematics section. A committee of 5 teachers is to be chosen from 6 French teachers and 6 music teachers. In how many ways can this be done so that the committee will consist of 4 French teachers, at least 1 French teacher, at most 6 music teachers? So let's begin. Number of ways. For the first one, number of ways we can choose. Number of ways we can choose 4 French teachers from 6 French teachers is 6 combination 4. But we are forming a committee of 5 teachers. So we are left with the other person. We must choose that one person from the 6 music teachers. So we have 6 combination 1. So this will give us 15 times 6, which is equal to 90 ways. Now let's look at the B part. At least 1 French teacher. So at least 1 French teacher means that you can have 1 French teacher, then we have 4 music teachers, then we have also 2 French teacher, then we have 3 music, then 3 French, 2 music, we have 4 French, 1 music, or we have 5 French and no music. So you can do this. It will give you the same answer, but it may keep you, it may take much of your time. So if you do it like that, you get it correct. Another way you could have also done it is that you find the number of ways you can choose 5 people from 6 plus 6, which is 12. So number of ways will be equal to, that will be 12 combination 5. Number of ways you can choose 5 from this and this. Then you subtract the complement. So at least 1 French teacher means the other way around will be no French teacher. So that will be, if there's no French teacher selected, it means that we have 6 combination 0. So if there's no French teacher selected, then it means all the members in the committee are music teachers. So you have 6 combination 5 way of doing that. So we are going to get 792 minus 1 times 6, which is 6, and that will give you 786. Then let's look at the C part. At most 2 music teachers. So C. So for at most 2 music teachers, number of ways will be equal to. So in this case, we are going to have at most 2 music teachers, no music teacher, and we have 5 French teachers. Or we can have 1 music teacher and we have 4 French teachers. Then we have 2 music teacher, then we have 3 French teachers. So in that case, we are going to get 6 combination 3 times 6 combination 2. Then we add it to 6 combination 4 times 6 combination 1. Then we add it to 6 combination 5 times 6 combination 0. So when we add all these things, what are we going to get? We're going to get 20 times 15. Then we add it to 15 times 6. And this will give you 6 times 1. And when you simplify this, we are getting 20 times 15 is 300. Then we add it to what? We add it to 90. Then this will give us 6. So everything will be equal to 396 ways. If the volume of a hemisphere is increasing at the rate of 21 pi centimeter cube per second, find the rate at which the radius is decreasing. So this is on rate of change. So we can apply the chain rule to solve this question. The volume at which the rate at which the volume is increasing, which is dv dt, is 21 pi centimeter cube per second. Then the rate at which the radius is increasing will be dr dt. We don't know it. We're given the radius to be 5. So we are finding the r dt when r equals 5 centimeters. So we can apply the chain rule. Recall the chain rule. The chain rule is given by dv dt is equal to dv dr times dr dt. So this is v. So how do we get the dv? We know the dv dt already, which is this, so we put it there. 21 pi centimeter cube. So that will be equal to dv dr. So we can get a dv dr. We know that v is equal to the volume of the hemisphere is given by 2 over 3 pi r cube. So when we differentiate this, we'll get the dv dr to be equal to 2 pi r squared, because the 3 will come and multiply to cancel the denominator here. So we get 2 pi r squared times the r dt, what we are looking for. So we have 21 pi is equal to 21 pi. So we can square of the pi's, and that will give us 21 is equal to 2 times r squared, 5 squared, times the r dt. So that will give us 21 over 50 is equal to the r dt. And when we simplify this, what do we get? We are going to get 0.42. The r dt is equal to 0.42 meters per second. Now look at the B part of this question. We have to solve 3v minus w equal 4 and v squared plus 2vw minus w squared equal -2 simultaneously. So we can make one variable the subject in this equation, equation 1, and put it in equation 2. So from equation 1, we can bring the 4 here and send the w there to get 3v minus 4 is equal to w. So we can call this equation 3. So we can put equation 3 in equation 2. So that will give us v squared plus 2v w is now equal to 3v minus 4. Then minus w squared, so 3v minus 4 whole squared. And that will be equal to -2. So v squared plus 6v squared minus 8v. Then we have, when you expand this, you are going to get minus into bracket 9v squared, because 3v times 3v will be 9v squared. Then 3v times -4 will be -12v. Then minus another 12v. Then plus 16 is equal to -2. So v squared plus this will give you 7v squared. Then we have minus 8v. Then we have minus 9v squared. Then we have plus 24v. Then we have plus minus 16 equal -2. So when we simplify this, we are getting -2v squared plus 16v minus 14 is equal to 0. Or divided through by -2, you're going to get v squared minus 8v, then plus 7 is equal to 0. So we can factor this. When we factor this, we are obtaining something like, we need to split the middle term. So -7, -1. So we have v squared minus 7v minus v. Then we have plus 7 equals 0. So we have v into bracket v minus 7. Then minus 1 into bracket v minus 7 is equal to 0. So we have v minus 1 or v minus 7 is equal to 0. So v is either equal to 1 or 7. Now when v is equal to 1, then we have w to be equal to 3 times 1 minus 4, which is -1. Then when v is equal to 7, v equals 7, w will be equal to 3 times 7 minus 4, which will be 21 minus 4, and that will give us 17. So we found the values of v and w. So the solutions are v equal 1 or 7, then w equal -1 or 7 or 17. So here we have question number 11. If the roots of 3x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0. So this is on quadratic function or quadratic equation. If the roots of 3x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0 are alpha and beta, find the equation whose roots are alpha cube and beta cube. So let's deal with that one first. So with this equation, we have a to be equal to 3, b equal 4, and c is equal to -5. So we know that sum of roots alpha plus beta is given by minus b over a. So minus b over a will be -4/3. Then sum of root, product of root alpha beta is c over a. So c over a will be -5/3. Now we are supposed to find the equation whose roots are alpha cube and beta cube. So sum of new roots is given by alpha cube plus beta cube, and this expression is equivalent to alpha plus beta. Then we have into brackets alpha plus beta squared minus 3 alpha beta. Yeah, this is what you need to recall, the hardest part of it, but with a little bit of practice you'll be able to recall it. Good. Or you can derive it from the beginning. Try learning how to derive it and it will become part of you. Now we didn't have to substitute these values here. So sum of roots will be alpha cube plus beta cube. Sum of new roots will be equal to we have -4/3. Then we have -4/3 all squared. Then minus 3 into bracket alpha beta, which is -5/3. So we have to simplify this, and when we simplify, we are going to get something like -4/3. Now -4 square is like 16. So we have 16 here over 9 plus 5. And because this will cancel this, so we have plus 5. So this will simplify to -4/3 times 61/9. 61/9. And this will give us -244/9. Is it 9? 3 times 9 is 27. Good. So we need to find the product of new roots, which is alpha beta. So alpha cube beta cube will be equal to alpha beta cube. So that will be equal to -5/3 cube, and that will give us -1 to 5/27. The numbers are a bit big, but don't let them scare you. So this is product of new roots. So the equation is given by x squared minus sum of new roots, which is -244/27 x plus product of new roots, which is negative 125 over 27 is equal to 0. Now multiply it through by 27, we get 27 x squared plus 244x minus 125 is equal to 0. So that is the equation whose roots are alpha cube and beta cube. Given that 5 exponent x times 5 exponent x plus 1 equal 5 exponent x, 3 minus x divided by 125 exponent negative 1 times 5 exponent negative x minus 1. Find the value of x. So the same base, so we write down one base and add the exponent, so x plus 1 is equal to, now here we have in the bracket we have 5 exponent 3 here, so 5 exponent 3 minus x divided by, into bracket, this one is 5 exponent negative 3, because there is a negative 1 here, so when you raise 5 exponent 3 times the negative 1, you get negative 3, then times 5 exponent negative x minus 1. Now what do we do now? One base for this, so we write down one base and add exponent, so negative 3 plus negative x minus 1. Then we have 5 exponent 3 minus x here, dividing this. So the same base, they are dividing, so we subtract. So we are going to get something like 5, one base, so 3 minus x. So we subtract the exponents. So we have negative 3 minus x minus 1. So we have 5 exponent. Now this is x, so x plus x is 2x plus 1. So the bases are the same, we can equate the exponent now. So we have 2x plus 1 is equal to 3 minus x minus, so minus negative becomes positive 3, then this and this becomes positive x, and this becomes positive 1. So 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 1 7. So we have 7 here, and this will go away. So we bring the 1 here, it becomes 7 minus 1 is equal to 2x. So 2x will now be equal to 6. So x will be equal to 3. So the value of x is 3. Here we have the statistics and probability aspect. The probability that an ape will die when given a newly discovered drug is 1 over 3. If 6 of such apes were selected for a trial, find the probabilities that half of them survived. So probability that it will survive will be P. P is equal to 1 minus 1 over 3, which is equal to 2 over 3. So that is in favor that it will survive. So that is the P, our P, small p. Now the Q will be 1 over 3. That will be not in favor. So we recall the formula for binomial probability. So in this case, n is equal to 6. Probability of big X is equal to small x is given by n combination r, p exponent r, then we have q exponent n minus r. So we are finding probability of x is equal to half of 6 is 3. X equal 3. So that will be equal to 6 combination 3, 2 over 3, then times, so 2 over 3 exponent 3 times 1 over 3 exponent. 6 minus 3 is 3. Now when you simplify this, you should obtain something like 160 over 729. 160 over 729, which is approximately 0.2195. So binomial probability. So that is the A aspect. Now B aspect. More than 2/3 survived. So 2/3 of 6. 2/3 of 6 is equal to 2 times 2 is 4. So you're finding probability that x is greater than 4. So 6 are selected, x greater than 4. So we have x equal to 5, or probability of x is equal to 6. So this will be equal to 6 combination 5 for this one. Then we have p, which is 2 over 3 exponent 5 times 1 over 3 exponent 1, because 6 minus 5 is 1. Then we add it to p equal x, p probability of x equals 6. That will be equal to 6 combination 6. Then we have 2 over 3 exponent 6 times 1 over 3 exponent 0. So this will simplify to give us 64 over 243. Then we add it to 64 over 729, and this will be equal to 256 over 729, which is approximately 0.3512. Now the C aspect, probability that less than 1/3 x is less than 1/3. So 1/3 of 6 is 2, so x is less than 2. This will be equal to probability of x is equal to 0 plus probability of x is equal to 1. Now what do we do next? We have to use the formula. This time the question says less than 1/10 died. So died is a favorable outcome. So as it was given the question, the probability that an ape will die is 1 over 3. So that's the favorable outcome, which is the P for this question. But for this one, the favorable outcome will be 2 over 3. So for this particular one, we have n combination R, which is n combination X or n combination R. It is same thing. So I'm supposed to put X here, but I put R. But it is same thing. So X, yeah. So it's understanding. Now we have n combination X, which is 6 combination 0. Then we have P, which is this time 1 over 3 exponent 0. Then Q is 2 over 3 exponent 6. Then we add it to, this time we have 6 combination 1, then 1 over 3 exponent 1, 2 over 3 exponent 5. So this will simplify to give us 64 over 7243. 64 over 243. 4, 3, almost the same as the first one. Then this one too will be 64 over 729. So everything will simplify to give us 0.3512. Here we have question number 13 on statistics. The table shows the length in centimeters of 45 pieces of wood in a factory. Find the value of Q. So since we have 45 items or 45 pieces of wood, we need to make sure that all these things sum up to 45. So let's start the A aspect. We have 2 plus 2 plus Q minus 1 plus 4 plus 3Q minus 5 plus Q squared minus 3. Then we have plus 10 plus 3 plus 1. It should give us 45. Now simplify this. We have Q squared, and then we have the Q's 3Q plus Q give us 4Q. So we have 4Q plus 4Q. Then we simplify this is 4 plus this 5, 3, so 7. So when we simplify everything, it will give us 13. So plus 13 is equal to 45. Now, when we simplify further, we get Q squared plus 4Q. 13 minus 45 is negative 32, is equal to 0. Now we can factorize this to obtain something like, we know 2 factors of negative 32 that can add up to give us 4 will be 8 and negative 4. So this will give us Q minus 4 to bracket Q plus 4, A plus 8 is equal to 0. So we are going to get Q to be either equal to 4 or Q to be equal to negative 8. But we can't get a negative value for number of pieces of wood. Therefore, Q is equal to 4. So now we substitute the value of Q equal 4 to obtain 3 here. Then we get 7 here. Then we get 13 here. So we can now form our cumulative frequency table and use it to draw the cumulative frequency curve. So cumulative frequency, we add all the frequencies up to this current frequency. That will give us 2. Then up to this current frequency, 2 plus 2 is 4. So 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 7. So to make it short or quick, just add this to this. 4 plus 7 is 11. Then 11 plus 7 is 18. 18 plus 13 is 31, up to 44 plus 1, which is 45. Always this should be equal to this. The final one there should be equal to the total frequency. Now after adding, we now have to draw the cumulative frequency curve. So we are going to plot the cumulative frequency against the length of wood less than the upper class boundary. So upper class boundary, add 0.5 to this upper class limit, upper class interval. So you add 0.5 to 34.5 to get this, then 0.5 to this to get that. till you get here. So these are all marks less than the upper class boundary. They will be on the horizontal axis, while the cumulative frequency is on the vertical axis. So notice that we are using a scale of 5 centimeters to 2 centimeters to 5 units on both axes. So you plot the point 34.5 against 2 is here, then 39.5 against 4 is here, then 44.5 against 7 is here. So you get 74.5 against 45, which is here. After that, just draw a smooth curve through all these points like this. So after drawing a smooth curve, what you're going to do now is to answer the question, the median length. So median length will correspond to half of the total frequency, the value that corresponds to this, which is the 22.5 value. So you go to the graph and trace that, and that will give us, since each box here is 0.5, because from here to here is 5, so each box is 0.5. So 4 boxes is 2, add it to 54.5, and that will give you 56.5. So the median length is approximately 56.5 centimeters. Then we have the 90th percentile of the distribution. So 90th percentile, it means 90 out of 100 times the total frequency value. So the value that corresponds to this, that will be the 40.5 value. So 40.5 is here. So you trace it downward. So that will bring us to this value here. So this is one box less than 64.5. So that will be, so the 90th percentile CII will be 64.0 centimeters. 64.0 centimeters. All right. So vectors and mechanics for the WASSCE 2023 elective mathematics paper 2 part 3, vectors and mechanics. Question 14. The vertices of a quadrilateral are, we have k negative 1 3, l 2 5, q 6 negative 3, and r n minus 1 n minus 2. If vector kl is equal to vector rq, find the values of m and n. So straightforward, vector kl is equal to vector rq. So we know kl is equal to vector ol, position vector ol, minus vector ok. So it will be equal to vector oq minus vector or. So straightforward, we substitute. Vector ol will be 2 4, 2 5, then vector ok will be negative 1 3, then this will be equal to vector oq will be 6 negative 3, and we have or will be m minus 1, then we have n minus 2. So we need to simplify this and solve for the value of m and n. So 2 minus 1 will be 3. So we have 3. 5 minus 3 will be 2. So 3, 2 will be equal to 6 minus negative 1 will be 7, then minus m. Then negative 3 minus 2 will be equal to negative 1. So negative 1 minus n. So equating the corresponding components, 3 will be equal to 7 minus m. So m will be equal to 7 minus 3, which is equal to 4. Then also 2 will be equal to negative 1 minus n. So it means n is equal to negative 1 minus 2, which is negative 3. So we found the values of m and n. So the B part says that we are to find angle LKR. So you can see that angle LKR is this angle here. And this angle here is between vector KL and vector KR. So we find that vector, and vector KL will be equal to, we found it already, to be vector KL, we found it already to be equal to 3, 2, 3, 2. Now left with vector KR. So vector KR will be equal to 3, negative 5 minus negative 1, 3. So this will be equal to 3 minus 1, 4, negative 8. Good. So recall the dot products. The dot product. It says that when we dot these two vectors, that is vector KL dot vector KR, it will be equal to their magnitude, which is KL times magnitude of KR times the cosine of the angle between them. So the cosine of the angle LKR that we are looking for. So we need to find the dot product of this and this. So 3, 2 dot 4, negative 8 will be equal to magnitude of KL. That will be square root of 3 squared plus 2 squared, and that will give you square root of 13. So square root of 13 times square root of 4 squared plus negative 8 squared. That will be square root of 80 cos of the angle LKR that we are looking for. So when we dot this vector, 3 times 4 is 12. And we add it to 2 times negative 8, that is negative 16. It will be equal to, so root 13 times root 80 will give us square root of 1040. Cosine of the angle LKR. Good. So when we simplify this, we are going to get cosine of the angle LKR is equal to negative 4 over square root of 1040. So theta will be equal to cos inverse of, when you evaluate this, you're supposed to get something like negative 4 over square root of 1040. You're supposed to get 97.1250. So approximately 97 degrees. Still on the mechanics section, vectors and mechanics for the WASSCE 2023 elective mathematics or further mathematics paper. Number 15 says an object of mass 20 kg suspended at a point G by two light inextensible strings X, G, and YG. The strings are inclined at an angle at 55 degrees and 35 degrees respectively to the downward vertical. Find correct to four significant figures the tensions in the strings. You have to take G to be equal to 10 meters per second squared. So we can illustrate it in a diagram like this. So this is the object and this is the point G. The point G is here. Then we have X here and we have Y here. Now we're told that the object is suspended 55 degrees to the downward vertical. So 55 degrees here, then 35 degrees here. So by alternate angles, this will be 55. This will also be what? 35. So this angle here will be 55 plus 35, which is 90 degrees. Now we know that already this is 90. This is also 90. Good. So the tension will be moving upward, we're pulling upward like this. Then we have a weight, the weight of the body, the weight of these objects will be acting downward like this. So concurrent forces, we can use the Lami's theorem here. So we have the weight of the object to be equal to mg, mass times gravity due to acceleration. So that will be equal to m is given the question as 20. So we have 20 times 10, which is equal to 200 Newton. That is the weight of the object. So now we can find the tension in the string. So let's call this one tension 1 and this one tension 2. So tension 1, T1 over the sine of this angle here. So we know that this angle will also be 35 degrees because this and this should be 90. So this will be 35. So sine 90 plus 35, sine 90 plus 35. T1 over sine 90 plus 35 should be equal to the weight 200 newtons over the sine of this angle here, which is sine 90. So sine 90 is 1. So this will give us T1 to be equal to 200 sine 125 degrees. And when we evaluate this 200 times sine 125, we will be getting 163.8 newtons, which is to four significant figures. Then we can also evaluate the second tension, which is tension 2. So tension 2, T2 over this angle here, sine of this angle, which is 90 plus, so this one will be 55. So T2, let me use the space above here. So T2 over sine 90 plus 55 will be equal to the weight, which is 200 newtons over sine 90. So T2 will be equal to 200 over 1, which is 200 times sine 145. So this one will give us 114.7 newtons. So these are the tensions in the strings to 4 significant figures. So finally, we are on the last part of our WASSCE 2023 Elective Mathematics Paper 2. Please, I would like you to do this thing for me. I would like you to share this video if you have not done so yet. Even if you have downloaded it, please come online and come and share it. Thank you for doing so. Alright, so a bullet of mass 180 grams is fired horizontally into a fixed wooden block with a speed of 24 meters per second. If the bullet is brought to rest in 0.4 seconds by a constant resistance, calculate the distance moved by the bullets in the wood. So we know that we can use this equation to calculate this. We know that the bullet has come to rest, so the initial velocity given as 24 meters per second, then the final velocity will be equal to 0 meters per second. Then the time is what? 0.4 seconds. So we can calculate the acceleration. V equal u plus at. So v is 0, u is 24, plus a. The a we don't know, so what we're calculating. Then we have 0.4 seconds. So negative 24 is equal to 0.4 a. So a will be equal to negative 24 over 0.4. So this implies that acceleration, which is now retardation, is negative 60 meters per second squared. So that is the acceleration for us, deceleration for us. So note that the negative there tells us that it is decelerating. Now we are asked to calculate the distance moved by the bullet in the wood. So that distance we can calculate it using v squared equal u squared plus 2as, where s is the distance, a is in this case the deceleration, and v is the final velocity. So we put it inside, and u is the initial velocity. So we get 0 squared is equal to 24 squared plus 2 times negative 60 times s. So what do we do next? We get negative 24 squared is equal to negative 120s. So negative 24 squared over negative 120 will be equal to s. So s will be equal to 4.8 meters. So that is the distance moved by the bullet in the wood. Thank you for joining us. See you in another video.